All right, welcome to another episode of Two Fight Fans. We talk about all things in combat sports. I'm one fight fan, Colin.
And I'm the other Stuart.
And Stu, you cleaned up this past weekend.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah,
right. I nailed
you
every single pick.
pretty much, man. Like, damn, like, hats off to you.
Now, did I go heavy in the paint for Juliana Pena and almost pick her? And did I also say that, man, Sean O'Malley might have a chance, only to be proven that no, the bookies were right. Bet heavy on Caleb, bet heavy on Merab.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
so I lucked out there. Where do you want to start on this card? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, let's just go from the top down because, as we were texting, I think I was kind of just meh on the in our texting, but thinking back on it, yeah, this card was better than we had anticipated. I think certain
Yeah.
people definitely overperformed and certain people majorly underperformed. So,
Yeah. But what it did do is it prevented us from getting a bunch of absolute boring slog fights,
right.
right? Imagine if that Kayla Harrison Juliana Pena fight went the exact same way it had been going, just
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah,
5 minutes. Ugh, what a
yeah,
nightmare.
yeah. And I thought it was gonna go that way. I was like, well, I was right. But
Yeah.
then, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, let's just start at the top then. So,
Okay.
Merab versus Sean O'Malley. So, yeah. What did the rematch show you? Did anything? Did did O'Malley's no jerking off, no drinking, no smoking help him?
I mean, he definitely got choked out with the quickness. Um, yeah, and like I mean, it was kind of like a very opposite version. I think it was what we thought the first fight most likely would look like, which was like Sean O'Malley did throw a lot more. Merab Dvalishvili's pace was a lot higher, and it was a much more like frantic fight for the 2.5 rounds that it lasted.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so it was pretty entertaining the whole time. What I saw though was like, man, this is why you shouldn't like take a year off and then come back and be like, okay, now I'm ready for my fight. Because if you don't get a fight in between to kind of test out whatever your new theory about fighting is, or your new theory about this time I'll win, like if you're Sean O'Malley, where do you go from here? You've just lost to Merab twice, and I don't know who's beaten Merab in the next like year or two other than his heart if it just explodes one day. So yeah, like I don't know. What do you think? Was this kind of the right fight after seeing how it turned out? Should they have thrown Sean O'Malley right back in with Merab?
That here's the thing, like your argument for like, testing a new fight theory or strategy or whatever, I still feel like Sean O'Malley would have beaten most people, and he came out looking pretty good. I mean, his takedown defense was a lot better to start.
Yep.
He was like trying to pick more of his shots. He was trying to do like keep things at distance and trying to wing things out more. So he was having more success. It was just like, yeah, I mean, just Marab is unrelenting,
Yeah.
and I don't really know how you prepare for that. I don't really know. I don't think any like prep fight would have necessarily like he didn't look like it was ring rust that
No.
caused him to lose. It didn't look like his strategy was the wrong one. It was literally just like even the sequence that finished him, it was he was defending the takedown pretty well, and he got back up to his feet and then Rob just shot again,
Mhm.
and then as it was going down, he just like happened to sink in that guillotine and he was trying to roll out correctly and then he just like muscled his way to wrap that up. Like the position that he found himself in was like pretty unique, and I feel like only a handful of people would have been able to capture that. So, like, again, I think it just more speaks to like the insanity that the insane fighting style that Marab brings to the division.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. He did do well, but again, yeah, now he's just put himself in this position where it's like you've lost twice to the champion. It's basically going to be impossible. This isn't Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, where Max clears out the division multiple times to get back to Alex. I mean, maybe Sean O'Malley can
Right.
do that, but I think there will probably be turnover at the top before that happens because Merab Dvalishvili is 34, I believe. So now you're kind of stuck in like, well, I guess I just kind of hang out. I just kind of wait around and take fights. Or does he go up to 145? Do you think that's like a, I don't know. What would you do if you were like advising him on his career, other than telling him it's okay to like smoke weed and jerk off? Like you'll be fine.
I don't know, because I mean, 145 is pretty brutal. He might be. I don't know. I don't know how he'll do at 145. I think he could make a run there, but I don't. I don't know. He might be a little undersized for 145 unless he like stacked up a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it is tough, because I think Sean O'Malley beats the vast majority of people at 135, but you know, did he just wait out until, like you said, Merab's heart explodes that he can retake the top? Like, I don't know. I see him beating most everyone except for Merab now. So
I mean, Umar would be a challenge because Umar kind of went tit
sure,
for tat
sure. Yeah.
uh, with Merab for about 3 rounds. So you've got Umar floating out there. You could maybe do a Song Yadong fight. You could do if Piotr Yan gets past. I think who's he fighting? Marcus McGee. Like you could do the Piotr Yan rematch. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he definitely looked like he wasn't injured. He definitely didn't look as like gun shy in his fight. His down blocking was a lot better. But again, it's this thing of like he's he was more offensive, but he seemed like still really preoccupied with having like it still felt like he was over indexing on defense and not like really going after Merab. Now it was hard to go after
Right.
Merab because Merab this was a lot more pressure I think than we've ever seen from Merab, especially like right out the gate.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, and Merab finishing a fight too, getting a
Getting his
submission.
first finish in what, like 40 years or something? What was it?
I don't know. I mean, he's
Yeah.
on a 13 fight win streak, and he's only had like one or two submissions in that time. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
his last finish was against Marlon Moraes in 2021.
Damn, and Marlon Moraes is super easy to finish. So that doesn't even like count. Yeah, so very impressive from Rob. They were talking about Corey Sandhagen being the fight up next. Now, how interested are you in that? And also, how much more interested would you be if Merab decided it's time to either fight Pantoja or move up and fight Alexander Volkanovski?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I didn't really think about Rob moving out yet.
Mm,
You know, I
yeah,
do like the Corey Sandhagen fight because I think Corey's earned it, and it is going to be a very big, matchup of styles. Again, kind of like what we just saw, but it's mainly like, okay, will Corey do anything differently? Will he bring anything? I mean, because how he's seen the game plan from Rob against dynamic strikers, and him being a combination dynamic striker, will he fare a better chance? And my initial thoughts are no, but
yeah,
it's still the fight to make based on the rankings and based on the accomplishments of everyone thus far.
yeah. I mean, it is more interesting, I think, beyond like because he doesn't have the one punch KO power of Sean O'Malley, but he is a lot more mobile. He does have like a couple flying knee knockouts, or maybe I'm just thinking of the Frank Edgar one like 7 times, and so I'm just overcounting how many knockouts he has. Uh, but I mean, we saw in his last fight against Stevenson Figueiredo, like he does have a good guard game and is able to blow out people's knees when he's leg locking. So that adds a little bit more danger for Merab, but Merab is also so good at controlling people on the ground. You
Yeah,
know, it's not like he's ever like in a bad place where it's like, oh man, I might get submitted. He's usually very, very in control. So I don't. I mean, it is the right fight to make. Corey Sandhagen has earned it, but I don't know. I was slightly interested to be like, who can solve this puzzle outside of 135? And like having Pantoja come up and see if he can challenge might be interesting, but again, Merab will be bigger and almost have better, or probably have better cardio. Not probably, definitely have better cardio than Pantoja.
yeah,
So you go, oof, that's a bad matchup. But then I think of Volkanovski, and I'm like, well, hold on a minute, because Volk's like a 155er basically,
yeah. That's a
and like,
closer like weight size matchup.
yeah, and like he went 5 round hard rounds with Islam Makhachev and didn't really get tired. He doesn't necessarily have the cardio of Merab, but I'm like, he's also like one of the best game planners in MMA, and so I'm like, that might be. And he's getting old now too, so, like, the cardio is probably gonna start dropping off a little bit more severely, so I was like, "That might be a pretty interesting fight," um, rather than them redoing the Yair Rodriguez fight, which who gives a fuck? We watched Alexander Volkanovski absolutely paste Yair Rodriguez, so I don't know. Yeah. Oh. But 135, good division.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and, like,
interesting
everyone
shit
blaming
happening.
Merab being boring. I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see him just go, like, insane garden gnome on Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other fight, which was not as good, but mercifully short. Kayla Harrison, Juliana Pena.
Mhm.
What did we learn, Colin?
Well,
When?
Pena was fucking Jesus, like that did not stand a chance at all. Like,
No.
and
She was willing to foul, though.
she
She was
was.
willing to foul
Hey,
quite
yeah.
severely.
If you aren't cheating, you're not trying. So
Yeah. And she didn't even try to hide it. She
no.
just had, like, angry wine mom at the Pee Wee soccer game. Like, I'm just gonna kick someone right in the head. Yeah.
But Harrison is fucking huge, dude. Like she is
Yeah.
so big and so strong.
It's
And
Did you see the videos or photos after the fight of or after the event of Merab and Kayla standing next to each other?
no, no, I didn't. But that would be
Because
hilarious.
they're both champions of 135, and it
Yeah.
looks like a mother taking her child to his first day of fourth grade. You know, it's crazy the size disparity. She is massive.
Yeah.
So I assume we're only gonna get one more fight from her. Uh, But before we get to that fight, okay, Kayla didn't or Pena didn't stand a chance. Did Pena do anything that impressed you though, or anything that underimpressed you, even though you're already severely unimpressed with Juliana?
No, not really. Like, I
Damn,
mean,
dude.
like this kind of went exactly as I thought it was gonna be. Just like Harrison just like outweight bullied and outskilled Juliana Pena. Like I was there anything that showed you like, ooh, Juliana Pena might have a chance in this aside from like getting away with a foul, maybe? Like,
Oh yeah, no, no.
okay,
I
there you
was
go.
what I was surprised with is I thought in the spirit of her insane running, flailing punches at Amanda Nunes, we would get a little bit more aggression out of Pena. And she seemed to like try to be like, I'm gonna be like a really like cool, calculated counterpuncher. And I was like, Juliana, that's not the energy you bring. You bring angry lady at the club. Like that's what we need from you. Um, and she did not bring that energy, and just kind of allowed. I will say Kayla Harrison did better closing the distance than she did against Ketlin Vieira. So that was a slight improvement. But yeah, the takedowns weren't even like ultra impressive that Kayla
Nope.
got on her. She just kind of like got to where she needed to go, slowly got into position, and then was like, "And here we go," and then would take her down.
Yeah, just
Uh,
I'm bigger.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there was technique. It wasn't like she just like ragdolled them to the ground, but
Sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was yeah, it was kind of yeah. And then the finishing sequence, it's all right. Going for the choke, back to the arm, kind of mixing things up, going back and forth between submissions, which is in modern MMA, you have to be doing that. You can't just be like going, I'm just gonna go for this guillotine, and then when it doesn't work, you go, bah, I'll get him next time.
Yeah.
It has to be like constantly cycling. So that was good to see. I don't know. So like rewatching the first Juliana Pena fight versus Amanda Nunes, I what really struck me is like how dominant Amanda Nunes was on the ground against Juliana Pena. And watching this, because, like, obviously on paper, you go, Kayla Harrison, if it gets to the ground with Amanda Nunes, has the clear advantage. But I didn't see some sort of, like, masterful control on the ground that Amanda Nunes would not be equipped to either neutralize or at least kind of counter slightly.
Mm.
Um, right? It doesn't strike me as like Kayla Harrison is the Khabib Nurmagomedov of this division. So if anyone goes to the ground, they're absolutely fucked. I was like, Amanda Nunes has a decent ground game, and like nearly submitted Juliana Pena in the first round of their first fight. So I don't know if it's as much of a wash as everyone kind of has been talking about it. Where Kayla Harrison gets into the ground, she'll win. If Amanda Nunes keeps it standing, she'll win. Yeah, did you see anything in this fight that made you think like, "Wow, like, that ground game is gonna kill Amanda Nunes?"
No, not kill Amanda Nunes per se, but still, again, it's just like the overall strength and size difference is going to play a factor. And for someone who's been out, what Amanda Nunes has been retired now for what 2 years?
Mhm.
It's a unique challenge to face when you're first coming back after a decent layoff like that. So
Yeah, yeah,
like that, it's just yeah, they're so outsized,
yeah.
And Amanda Nunes is not like a small 135er. She's also pretty big and strong, but Kayla Harrison is just gigantic, man. Like,
I mean, she has to quite literally be taking, like, 2 years off her life every time she does that weight cut,
yeah. I mean,
you know?
everyone was talking about it leading up to the fight too. Like, is she gonna make it? Is it gonna be safe? Blah blah blah. And especially given like what's happened recently. Uh, but
What
yeah,
are you talking about LA? What are you talking about?
no, I'm talking about the previous week, like with
Oh, with Macy Barber, okay.
yeah,
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 I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"What are we implying here? What are you talking about?"
No, 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 no.
Especially with what's happened, with the economy. Yeah, it was, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't like it does not seem feasible that she has, 2, 3 more of these. It feels like it's probably one and done after this.
Yeah,
Um, which is, I don't know, like regardless of what happens in that fight, like one and done kind of just leaves the division right back where it was, right? It's
yeah.
just going to be Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena too. Um,
Jesus.
and like nobody needs that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wait, can we go back for a second? Uh, Juliana Pena came out to Sound of Silence, and Sean O'Malley came out to God Bless America. Like, are these the two worst walkout songs back to back you've ever heard? You want to talk about like the most like this is not your ugh ugh. It was, and especially, dude, it felt like such a kiss ass move with Sean O'Malley doing that, knowing that Trump is gonna be there. I just
Yeah.
was like, dude, you are what a like slimy car salesman. Like it's so transparent and gross, and you're just like, you're just such a boring, just a boring asshole, you know? Like you're just God, ugh. It's hard. It was hard. It was hard watching and listening to that shit. And then they both lost, and that's what they get for
Yeah. Yeah.
listening to stupid, stupid music. Um, yeah, and making me listen to that stupid, stupid music. Um, so we know what we're doing with Kayla. We'll get to that in a sec. What do we do with Juliana from here?
Dude, I don't know. Like, it's like you said, after this next championship fight between Kayla, and regardless of the outcome, I don't think she'll keep making 135, whether she wins or not. Amanda
Mhm.
Nunes probably is only coming back for this one fight. And if you take out both of them, the division has like fucking no one. Like,
Yeah, gonna be Juliana Pena's division again, So
god
it's like
damn.
we thought this was the cure, but really this is just like a temporary salve
Yeah.
um, before the cancer fully takes the body. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be. Yeah. Wait. I mean, do we? What? Do maybe? Maybe Valentina Shevchenko can come up and beat her. Or like again, I still like the idea of Zhang Weili versus Juliana Pena, just to
Mm.
see what it's like if a really talented women's fighter moves up 2 weight divisions. Can she do it? That's enticing to me. Or maybe Macy Barber will have to move up because of her weight issues, and then we'll
Mhm.
get Macy Barber, Juliana Pena. I'd watch that. Um, or kind of, I'd watch it. Yeah, yeah. Because besides that, what else we got? Irene Aldana. Yeah, yeah. Dude, 135 is a wasteland.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. So okay, we're gonna do Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes. Colin, do you think it should be a 135, or should they just have a gentle ladies agreement to do it at 145?
Well, 145 would definitely be healthier
Mm-hmm.
for everyone.
Yeah.
135 though would have uh, unique challenges. I don't know. Like
I don't know.
fuck this.
Um,
You could do either. Just put either one of them. No one is ever challenging either one of them. So like
yeah, I think do it at 145, right? Like, we'll know. the weight cut will deplete Kayla, so like Amanda Nunes could, definitely will have an advantage there. But like it's Amanda Nunes also struggled to make weight at 135 at sometimes, right? She never missed it, but like it was supposedly difficult for her.
Yeah.
And she retired quoting like health issues and mobility issues from like back, neck, and hip injuries during fighting and training.
Right.
Um, so like she left because she was like, I don't really need to do anything, and like my body is beginning to break down.
Mhm.
Like, why are we breaking both of their bodies down again to watch a fight where, Amanda Nunes is not peak Amanda Nunes. She's like well past it. Not that she's entirely out of the running because she was so far ahead of this division that even being well past it, she can beat all of them. Um, but let's like this is the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. Like we're getting it a little too late. This is not Kayla's
Yes.
prime. This is not Amanda's prime. So let's all be friends. Let's all just do 145. Let's all just shake on it. And then like you can hand the belt to Amanda if you lose Kayla, right? You can be like, you okay, you won. You know? Or just call it like the women's super fight belt, right? Boxing throws around so many stupid belts. Let's bring out one silly little belt. We have the BMF belt. Like let's just call it the big lady belt. And then they can
A
fight for that.
big lady belt.
Yeah, like come on. Let's get a little creative. Let's do something here. Because yeah, I don't. This fight was on the verge of being stinky until the submission. Like I don't want to see that. And Amanda Nunes' fights, I don't know if you remember the last like 5 of them. They were pretty stinky.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, we got a little bit of movement in those divisions.
Yeah.
Um, your boy Kevin Gastelum, Iron Chin Kevin.
Oh
Um,
boy.
Old Kevin Gas. He got dropped twice, 3 times in this fight.
I think twice, and he got dropped early, and
The
I thought,
first punch.
"Uh-oh." Yeah. I'm like, "Well, this is not good for me here." And and then I thought like, "Oh, okay, he's showing his grit. He's showing his durability. He's gonna come back." And he like kinda almost, but
Yeah,
it
dude.
was, it was a testament to his durability, but also like I heard a lot of people like just criticizing Joe Pyfer for not going in for the finish and not being like, like we've talked about, like when you're coming up, you're trying to make a statement and you've got to like start taking people out when you have the chance. But to do
Yeah.
that against Kelvin Gastelum, that's real tough to do. And was he a little bit more reserved in picking his shots a little bit? That did let Kelvin Gastelum get back into the fight a little bit. Um, but yeah,
A
I
little
mean,
bit, man. Like I thought I don't know how you scored it. I had Kevin Gastelum clearly winning the 3rd round, and I thought if you squinted, he could have won the 2nd.
mhm.
Uh, Like now was that first round a 10-8? Probably. But then you got a draw, baby. And I
Yeah.
don't I haven't seen the criticism that Joe Pyfer like didn't go in for the kill, like he was overly reserved. I think that's a misdiagnosis of what's going on. I think
Hmm.
Joe Pyfer's got donkey brains. I think he's got like 4 ideas of how to fight and what to do in a fight, and then he goes through those 4 ideas. He's like, "Here's my one big right hand. Boom. Oh, I knocked him down. Sweet. I'll wait till he gets up. I'll try my other thing. One big kick. Boom. Right? I've got this. It's a 1-2 combination." And then he's like, "All right, I've gone through all my ideas. Shit. I guess I'll just cycle back through those 4 things." And then Kevin Gastelum's like, "Oh, here comes that rear hand. I better like evade it or not be close enough." And then Joe Piper's like, "Shit. It didn't work. Well, there's nothing I could do to ever make that punch work again unless Kevin just allows me to do it." Right? He never like set anything up again. He never like chained his attacks in any way. He never mixed anything up. He just was like, "Damn, my 4 ideas, like a fucking goldfish. Like I ran out of them, so now I can't do anything." Like, did you get that sense? Because that's what I was thinking watching this. I was like, why is he not? He had success with 3 things, and then rather than like going, great, let's build to those 3 things because I know they work. He was just like, what if I just throw them again in the same order I threw them before, hoping that they work? Like,
I got the read that is like he's gassed himself out in the past and he was
hmm,
too concerned about gassing himself out again. So he would never pull the trigger.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, Kevin, like, started mixing things up, right? Like, he started, like, going to the leg, he started going to the
Yeah.
body. Because, like, in the first round, like, Kelvin was just like, "I'll just throw 1-2s at your head and stand straight in front of you."
Yeah.
And then he got
With my
punished for
chin
that.
straight up,
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
because
that's
he's so
what
much
he's
shorter. Like, he was
yeah,
just like, oh my god, as soon as I saw that, I went, "Uh-oh, we're in
yeah.
big trouble right now."
I mean, he's always done that. He's just been, like, really fast to, like, leap in, but he's never had, like, head movement or chin position. He just has an unbreakable chin. But
Yeah.
then, like, he started again, it was one of those things where, like, both of them kinda had donkey brains. Like, "Kevin, where were these leg kicks in round 1? Where was the punching to the body? Where was the circling?" Right? Like, why was it just straight line in, 1-2,
Yeah.
right? But then as soon as I mean, what I just said is like adding white belt level shit to your game, and it confused Joe Pyfer, and Joe Pyfer became angry because he had never understood how someone could, like, change round to round, and I was like, "This is so silly. This is so silly." Um, it's middleweight, baby. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you get at middleweight. Yeah, I mean, I don't even care what you do with either of these guys. Like, they're not
Yeah.
fighting for a title. I mean, I guess, like, seeing Kevin get dropped that many times, that's, like, more than he's, like, been dropped in the rest of his career, basically. Like, is it time for him to take it easy? Should he kind of, like, assume the Jim Miller position and just, like, beat, anyone who's outside of the top 30 as kind of a
Just jabronis
gatekeeper
coming
to the
in.
top 30? Yeah, exactly.
Uh, yeah, and we also talked about how, like, Kelvin Gastelum doesn't seem to be, like, really take fighting that seriously. It doesn't, like, really care. Like, he kinda does it like, "Oh, I'm good at it. I kind of like it, but, like, whatever."
Yeah,
Like
and you can see that, like, dude, he's been fighting chin up, like, no head movement the entire time, and, like, what amazing God-given talents he has to be able to, like, barely train, often come in overweight, be that small, and still be like I mean, challenge for the title against Izzy and give Izzy one of his toughest fights, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's a testament to being, like, a real athlete. Real athletes have guts. Real athletes don't have six packs. Six packs are for people that try hard, and real athletes don't try. They know they don't need to. Um, yeah, yeah. So, a middleweight fight. I was just flabbergasted by, like, Joe Pyfer not knowing basically how to adapt to, like, he threw out all of his ideas. I mean, a coach we used to share would say, like, when you come out in a fight, in the first 20 seconds, someone will show you their, like, favorite move. They'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, man, I'm excited to throw this kick." And, like, Joe Pyfer did that in the first, like, 50 seconds. He did everything that he wanted to do, and then he was like, "Well, I'm out of ideas. It didn't
Yeah.
work. Guess I'll just cycle back through." And then when Kevin Gastelum slowly regained consciousness and, like, started changing things up, Joe Piper's like, "Well, that's not how this is supposed to go. It's supposed to just be a repeat of these first 50 seconds for the rest
Yep,
of the fight."
yep.
Stupid shit. What
To
did
his
you
credit,
think of
though,
this
a
guy?
lot of fights do go that way, so
Yeah, that's true, especially at middleweight, but that shit ain't gonna work with Dricus Du Plessis. Dricus Du Plessis does all kinds of crazy shit
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
every
yeah.
moment. He's Dricus Du Plessis Dricus Du Plessis is like the idiom or idiom? What do you call it? You can never enter the same river twice. What's that called? It's not a
Yeah.
riddle.
Is it no,
Idiom?
it's an idiom. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Idiom, cool. Is there something? Yeah, whatever. Uh, Dricus Du Plessis is never the same man every 2 seconds, right? Like, he's always fighting and running and moving and twisting his body in a way that is wholly novel, to anything that's ever come before. Um, so it's not gonna work against him, and Joe Pyfer is unfortunately in his division, so yep, yep, yep. Who cares? It's middleweight.
Yeah.
3 more that we gotta talk about. 1, Kevin Holland beat Vicente Luque. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it kinda went exactly as we thought it would go, you know? I'm kinda surprised with the choke finish, but, I mean, it was very much a Kevin Holland fight,
Yeah,
Like, it would not have
yep,
surprised me if with all the, like, kinda showboating and things that he did, that he could have also just been, like, instantly dropped,
yep,
Like
yeah. Ooh, maybe
yeah.
him against Joe Pyfer would be good.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Holland, Joe Pyfer, both of them with severe donkey brains. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that'd be fun. I'd watch that fight. It'd
That's
be
a that's a
like,
good post 316 matchup to make. I like that.
yeah, throw that shit like on like a fight night card, right? Not a main event, not a co-main event, but like that's a good like third spot in the card.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
watch that.
yeah.
Yeah, because they're not neither of them are ever going to challenge for a title. So let's have them punch each other in the noggin, see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, What did you think of that scoundrel? And what did you think of Patchy Mix?
The Scoundrel came out and, he is silently that he I feel like is the personification of everything that we've talked about, but this turnover in divisions where this new young guy coming up and just knocking off all of our like favorite stars,
Yeah.
Uh, dude, Patchy Mix looked terrible though.
Dude,
Like,
he looked bad.
dude, like you were hyping him up, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, great. A fighter that I haven't seen before, a fighter who's like, been at the top of the divisions outside the UFC. Let's see what he can do. Like this should be like, a good kind of like launchpad to show like he deserves to be in the top, the top division or the like the upper echelons of the
yeah.
bantamweight division. And dude, he looked like he could not do anything, like super stiff, no head movement, no
Mm-mm.
like real offensive capabilities, nothing to really change the rhythm of the fight. Like I was, yeah, the cliche of people coming in and the UFC being too bright for them. Like that's kind of what happened here. I feel like, and
Yeah.
admittedly, I've not watched any of other Patchy Mix's stuff, so this was literally my first exposure to him, and it was not a good first impression.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So, like, he entered the Bellator was it Bellator? Is it PFL? It's Bellator, like, the
Bellator, I
Grand
think.
Prix,
Yeah.
right? He beats Corey Kyoji Horiguchi, like, pretty soundly across 5 rounds in, like, a pretty entertaining fight. He then fights Magomed Magomedov and submits him in the 2nd round, and then with the very first knee he throws in the finals against Rufian Stotts, he KOs him. Just KOs him with a knee, like, instantly. And then he beats Sergio Pettis, in 2 rounds, and
Uh,
then the fight before he came, he fought Magomed Magomedov again, and he looked bad in that one. But everyone was like, "Well, there's rumors that he's leaving Bellator, so like, did he care? Did he take it seriously?" And so like, you kind of excused away the really poor performing. He still won against Magomed Magomedov in his last fight, but you're like, well, did he give a shit? Like he already beat this guy like really fast. He submitted him in 2 rounds. Did he not really care? Like Magomed Magomedov obviously leveled up and was better. But like, Patchy Mix still squeaked out a win. So whatever. When he goes to the UFC, he'll have more like fire. But I think it's kind of now we have to go, oh no, that was just where his level was. Like he just kind of fell off after winning the Bellator Grand Prix. Like he might be washed.
yeah.
Unfortunately. Uh, but we also have to give credit to Mario. Man, I'm using his name, Mario Batista.
Yeah.
Like as much as Patchy Mix looked bad, like Mario Batista also did not make it easy to look good. Um, he was mixing up combinations. He was going to the head and body. He was using good footwork. Like he was controlling the fight. He was pressuring. We talked about too that like this is a rough style matchup for Patchy Mix. He
Yeah.
likes to be the tall fighter who keeps people at the end of his jab and then like is really good in scrambles. And like Mario Batista did not allow it to go to the ground. He did not allow it. He did not allow Patchy Mix to ever like not be backpedaling.
Yeah.
Um, he was like constantly in his face, constantly using good footwork, and then like again, I can't emphasize this enough. Like combination punching. Joe Pyfer learned something from this. Like combination punching, not just
Mhm.
like here's one punch, I'll reset. Here's one punch, I'll reset. Like actually throwing combinations and like mixing everything up, not just being like, I know 1, 2, 3. That's my combination. Like
Right.
going to the head, going to the body, going to the leg. Yeah, be all right. Patchy Mix looked. He looked bad, bad. He looked bad,
Yeah.
bad, bad. Yeah. And this was at 135. So actually, I'd been asking, what do we do with Sean O'Malley? What do you think about Sean O'Malley versus the Scoundrel?
I mean, that would be a big step up, you know,
Mhm.
and it it's all win for Mario Batista and all loss for Sean O'Malley. Like if Sean O'Malley
Yeah.
doesn't put on like one of his like vintage like sniping performances, then he becomes very like questionable as to his relevancy in the bantamweight division. But if Mario
Yeah.
Batista could keep like knocking off these, former champions, then he kind of shoots just straight to the top. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is weird because like we keep talking about like if Sean O'Malley isn't able to nuke this guy, like then we question his relevance. It is weird because you look at his record. So he's lost twice to Merab. He did beat Cheeto Vera, but like I don't know how much Cheeto Vera is like a top 10 bantamweight, even though he holds that position. Like, like it's always been questionable how good Cheeto Vera is. He did knock out Aljamain Sterling and he beat Petr Yan. But so those were like really his only two top 10 wins. He doesn't hold a ton of wins over people that are high
That's
ranking
true.
in this division. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I saw a bunch of people being like, oh, this shows that Sean O'Malley was always a fraud. And it's like, he did snipe Aljamain Sterling and he did beat, even though it was a really close fight, like, but he still went tit for tat with Petr Yan.
Yeah.
I think I want to see it. I think I want to see the Scoundrel against Sean O'Malley. Because if the Scoundrel
Ah.
wins, we go, wow, great, let's get him a title shot. Because he's on, what, an 8-fight win streak? And if Sean O'Malley nukes him, then great. Someone's finally killed the Scoundrel, and we can all rejoice. You know what I mean? But Mario Batista's good, man. He's good. Like, as much as I loathe him because of that Jose Aldo fight, it's like, the dude is good. I was really
He
excited
is.
for him. Before he fought Jose Aldo, I was like, this guy's really cool. And he continued to show why he's pretty cool overall. Yeah. Anything else about that fight? I mean, what do you do with Patchy Mix at this point?
I don't fucking know, man. Like he looked like he didn't belong in the top 10, top
Yeah.
15 of this division at all. So I don't know. Do you give another shot at a like top 10 contender, top 15? Maybe, but he did not show me it. If you didn't tell me the things that he accomplished, he did not show me that he has the skills to like make a crack in there. Like
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't control the distance. He couldn't get into an area where he was more comfortable. Like it just I don't know. I don't know what I really don't know what a good matchup would be for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what we got to do is we got to get one of our lower level employees at the glue factory to
Oh,
kind of see if they
jeez.
can process him. And I have a perfect low level employee at the glue factory, and that's Eamon Zahabi.
Oh yeah.
He just barely turned Jose Aldo into paste, just barely, right? Like he almost failed in his first assignment at the glue factory. So let's see if he can do that with Patchy Mix. I think that's probably what you do, right? Because Eamon Zahabi, not very good, just floating outside the top 10. With that questionable decision win over Jose Aldo. Like, let's have Patchy Mix go back through that ringer and see if he can perform a little bit better than a Jose Aldo who willingly chose not to make weight and decided to retire. You know, like
Yep.
let's. I think that's what we do. Because otherwise, I mean, he could fight Cheeto Vera again. Like Cheeto Vera doesn't pressure or do jack shit. He just stands there and lets you punch him until he gets one chance to hit you. Like maybe that's what Patchy Mix needs. He just needs someone to stand there and be a heavy bag. Yeah. So Eamon Zahabi or Cheeto Vera. I think that's what you could do.
Yep.
Or you could have Mario Batista fight Cheeto Vera to move up. Though like Mario Batista should be in the top 10 now, so he's got to be fighting someone like Sean O'Malley or I mean, I wonder if they're going to throw him against Umar Nurmagomedov. It was funny. They didn't let you could tell that the UFC really wanted Patchy Mix to beat him.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even interview Mario Batista after
Yeah.
the fight. And it was one of those things where I'm like, did y'all not scout this properly? Because like my stupid ass eyes could tell this was like a bad stylistic matchup, and they were like, no, it'll be fine. It's like I don't think you know how Patchy Mix fights. He likes to fight small men, like very small men. And Mario Batista is about the same size as him. Like, what are you doing? So, anyway, and then lastly, I know you got to go quickly. We got to talk about our boy, Josh Van.
Josh Van,
The
baby.
official
Yeah.
boy of the podcast. Like he is our boy. Dude, I mean, sing his praises. Like let's slobber all over him.
Dude, he looked great. Like
Yeah.
I mean, there was only like a handful of times where I thought, okay, like this might be a little bit challenging or whatever, but like he pretty much dictated the whole fight. But against Bruno De Silva, there I think there's a handful of times where he like what was it, maybe use some leg kicks or something to maybe chop down a little bit. But I mean, Josh Van had an answer to pretty much everything. And the boy can thump at
Yes.
flyweight. He might be one of the heaviest hitters there.
Yeah.
So that will put one, everyone on flyweight on notice, but two, it makes for some very interesting matchups in the future.
Absolutely.
Very, very, and like I think your early call out of him like a year ago, Like, yeah, really good fucking call. I would it would not surprise me to see him be one of the title challengers for like early next year or something.
Yeah. Like, he had that hiccup with the grappling, but at the same time, it's like, dude, it wasn't even hard to make that call. You, like, watched his fights and, like, he's definitely gotten more refined. His defense has gotten significantly better. But, dude, his combination punching, how calm he would stay, his mixing up to the body and the head, his, like, ambidextrousness with his hands. It's not like he over relies. He's not a Conor McGregor or Sean O'Malley relying on one specific punch. Um, you just were like, oh, this guy, and he was like 22 at the time. So, what is he,
Yeah.
24? I was like, dude, this dude, if he gets better every fight, and then it turns out he does get better every fight, you're like, this is the type of talent that like Ilya Topuria had, where like every time you watched him fight, you're like, holy shit, he's like 2 times better than he was last time. Yeah, Josh Van, and dude, okay, how many fights and what fights do you give him before we just put him in there with Pantoja? Because I'm chomping at the bit to be like, okay, great, let's get him a title fight by the end of next year.
So I think depending on how the Pantoja and Kai Kara France fight goes, like if it's
Yeah.
pretty close, then I feel like you have to give and Kai Kara France wins, then I'd
Mhm.
say like you have to give him a rematch
Mhm.
against Kai Kara France. But if it's like one-sided, like if Kai Kara France manages to knock out Pantoja, which
Mhm.
tall fucking order, but let's say because Kai Kara France is the other heavy-handed flyweight in this division, you know?
Mhm.
So if Kai Kara France does the impossible, Pantoja against Josh Van would be a good test to see if Pantoja can bounce
Ooh.
back. But if Josh Van does it, then boom, he's right there to challenge for the title next.
Damn, so you're ready to throw Josh Van in against Pantoja instantly.
If Kai Kara France knocks him out.
Ooh, damn. Because what do we got? We've got Brandon Royval as the number 1 contender, and he's fighting Manal Kopp at 317. You've got Brandon Moreno sitting at number 2 with no fight.
Yeah.
Amir Albazi is at 3, and he's fighting Tatsuro Taira. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
In
that's 3
August.
and 5. Number 4 is Kaikar France. He's fighting for the title. Manal Kopp, like we said, is fighting Brandon Royval. Alex Perez is sitting at number 7. I don't
Oh,
know if he
okay.
has a fight. Or is it Alex Perez versus Steve Erceg, or is it also Amabayev versus Steve Erceg?
Oh, we
That
just
fight.
talked about this.
I think is it Tim Elliott versus Steve Erceg? Is
No,
or is it
it's
Tim Elliott versus Alex Perez?
oh shit. I gotta look it up.
Yeah,
Let me
I'm
look it
not
up.
sure. But I mean, you've got Steve Erceg in front of him, you've got Aso Amabayev in front of him, you've got Alex Perez in front of him. Look, I like the question is, do you give him Steve Erceg, Aso Amabayev, Alex Perez, or do you just make him fight the number 2 contender, Brandon Moreno?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He called out Brandon Moreno for the UFC Noche card, which, dude, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
That man, ugh. I don't know. Like, if I'm his manager, I don't. You think you probably want to try to do like Steve Erceg or Tatsuro Taira, or like take it a little bit slower because Brandon Moreno is still, I think, like the second best fighter in this division. But dude, Josh Van, because you don't want to like get him like absolutely clumped up fighting Brandon Moreno, and then he didn't slow roll it enough. But that's a good fucking fight. That's a
Yeah.
good fight. Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think yeah. I mean, he's got to be somebody in the top 10. He's got to
Yeah.
fight somebody in the top 10. Whoever I guess is available. Brandon Moreno is like, besides Kai Kara France, I think Brandon Moreno and Kai Kara France are like the 2 hardest matchups for him. Though Tatsuro Taira might be because of the grappling.
Yeah.
But Josh Van has really cleaned up his grappling. So, ooh, yeah, yeah,
That would be a good matchup though.
yeah, yeah. That'd be good, especially for UFC Noche now that it's not going to be Volkanovski year. Like that's like the headliner. That's a 5-round headliner. Brandon Moreno, Josh Van. Um, yeah, yeah. So overall, pretty good.
Yeah.
A good night of fights. Yeah, it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then what do we have this weekend, Colin? I think we're taking a trip to the Glue Factory, aren't we?
We are. In fact, we are.
Yeah. Joaquin Buckley against Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman last fought 3 years ago.
God, it's been that long.
I don't know. Let me look. Because it was against Hamzat Chimaev on 2 days' notice. And that was in the year of our Lord 2023. So only 2 years ago.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but like still pretty, a long time ago. And then Rose Namajunas, Miranda Maverick. kind of a glue factory fight, maybe,
Yeah.
kind of. And then Edmund Shabazian, who gives a shit? Cody Garbrandt, who gives a shit? Cody Brundage, who gives a shit? Um, Paul Craig is on this card. Wow, Michael Chiesa, Court McGee. That's an old man fight.
That is a super old man fight right there.
Dude,
Holy shit.
that's two drunk dads at a little league baseball game. Like that's wow. Charles Jourdain against Ricky Simone. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we have to stand Jamie Lynn Horth from Squamish. Shout out to the local girl. Hopefully she wins against Vanessa Demopoulos. Yeah, it's all right. We're not going to make picks for this one, are we?
No, please, God, no.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, then we'll talk about what other like happenings are going on. You have to. Did you watch any of Dana White's like post-fight press conference for this card?
No, no.
Dude, he suddenly looked like he was Bob Arum. He looked like he was 90 years old and didn't know anything and was just like, "What? What?" I was like, "Wow, dude, he is checked out." I don't even know if he watched the fights. It does feel like they just bring like it's almost like the UFC brings him in like the UFC brings in Trump. You know, they're just like two old men that like have half dementia, don't even know where they are, but they're like, I'm supposed to show up here and smile and like walk around. Also, I gotta say this: Kayla Harrison put the belt on Donald Trump, so automatically, Kayla Harrison, I will be rooting for Amanda Nunes to crush your orbital bone with her fist. Like
of
that's
course.
like on site now. Not with me because you're large and scary, but when rooting for someone, I will be rooting against you. But like that's all like every one of the fighters. It was dude, it was a cock gobble fest, this card with Trump being there.
Oh yeah.
Just as LA is, whatever. If you're in LA, shout outs to you. Fight the good fight. Yeah, man. Crazy. All right. I mean, but that's what we get for being UFC fans, is we have to reciprocate to this. What do you think the rest of the world thinks about UFC fans? Because I kind of think
like all America, that's like what America is, which is like really kind of depressing. But yeah.
Ugh. Anyway. All right.
Yeah. I gotta wrap up here.
Yeah. I'm one fight fan, Stuart.
I'm the other Colin.
Josh Venn for president 2026. All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.